Buenos dias. ¿Cómo está? This is Kaypacha with the weekly Paleo report, astrology for the soul, and this one is for February 10th of 2016. It's too frickin' windy outside right now for me to do this whole thing walking around, so I want to show you some things on the computer anyway. And as you can see here, I've got this chart here, 16 to 22 degrees. For those of you who are into astrology and you know your charts, you want to be looking at planets that you have between 16 and 22 degrees, because we have 10 planets today between 16 and 22 degrees. Uranus is at 17. South Node 21, Chiron 19, Moon 18, Sun 21, Venus 21, Pluto 16, Saturn 14, Mars 19, Black Moon Lilith 18, North Node 21, Jupiter 21. I mean, you can see the sextiles that that are in here. There are 60-degree aspects. It's just like so many planets here, all hitting. Okay, so if you have anything between 16 and 22 degrees, it's going to continue to be, okay, getting, triggered, getting aspected is what, and an aspect, a transit, is just an evolution of that energy, of that, what I call a planet is a psycho-spiritual function. The psycho-spiritual function of Mercury is it's just the way I think. Mars is just the way that I act. Yeah, this moon is the way that I feel. These are psycho-spiritual functions, and when transits come by, when they trigger where the sun was when you were born or where the moon was when you were born, it's time to, get a new shot. It's like, adding a new ingredient to the recipe. So, this planet comes around and, you had the moon in Pisces until Neptune came along. And then that moon in Pisces took on another octave, went to another vibration, went into another dimension or whatever. Yeah. So there are some things that we want to see that are rather long term. And I've been talking about these for a while. I'm going to continue talking about them for a while. This is Uranus, opposite Black Moon Lilith, okay, in square to Pluto. And it has been in square to, if we just go back a few days, you can see that Venus Mercury, okay, has been even closer, yeah, and tighter. So 17, 17, 12, 16, 18, that was on February 2nd, that was just last week. Yeah, so things are moving along now. Let's get back to the 10th. What else is going on? Well, Jupiter opposite Chiron is back into its T-square with Saturn. And for this one, I want to go back for months, okay? Because watch Jupiter. Jupiter's now retrograde. That's what that little R is there, yeah? But if we go back a few months, like back to October, I believe. Okay, let's do weeks. We're really cruising through time here. You can see that Jupiter 17 opposite Chiron 17. That was in early November. Okay, now watch Jupiter and Chiron. The rest of these are all going to move around. Jupiter goes up. It stations in January, early January, and goes retrograde. Now it's going backwards. It's going to, geez, it already, yeah. So the second pass of Jupiter opposite Chiron, yeah, is coming up on February 23rd. Jupiter, it's going to be at the 20 degrees. Then, let's keep going. Jupiter goes retrograde until finally goes direct in May, comes back again, (24 to 24) in August. So from November of 15 until August of 16, this Jupiter and Chiron are doing a bit of a dance now, aren't they? Yeah? And in fact, you can see that it's not just Jupiter and Chiron. I mean, I did a whole 2-hour recording on this if you want to know more about this T-square with Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. Okay, it's not just Chiron. Neptune is also involved, and the moon's nodes are also involved. So this is a real big thing for all of 2016, and it's part of why I called it the year of purification. But now I just want to draw your attention to one more thing, okay, and that is Mars. Let us just watch Mars for a little bit here. Okay, come back to when Mars first goes into Scorpio, which is January 4th. Boom. Mars goes into Scorpio January 4th, right? Now normally Mars would just go on, and it does. It leaves March 12th, actually March 7th, because we're going by weeks. But then, what does it do? It says, I haven't had enough Scorpio. I'm going retrograde. So it goes back, and May 27th, okay, it comes back into Scorpio. And it stays, yes, in Scorpio until, man, this thing's moving fast, August 3rd. So we have right now, let's come back to today, this is February 10th of 2016, okay, we have Mars, and like I say, it has been in Scorpio, okay, since January 4th. It's in the middle of there now. It's going to stay there until March 7th. It's going to take a short visit into Sag and come back again. And this is what I want to be talking to you about today, is this Mars in Scorpio, coupled along with Neptune and Chiron and the south node of the moon in Pisces. And as we saw earlier, on the 10th of today, the moon is also there as I speak right now. So let me look into the camera, explain to you a little bit about what I'm talking about, what this means, interpret the signs of the times, and I'll talk to you soon. So today I would like to have a serious conversation with you. The camera. About Mars moving through Scorpio, about Neptune, Chiron, today the moon, the south node of the moon moving through Pisces. Nothing's moving through Cancer right now. One thing I did want to point out to you is, did you see how everything is up above on the top of the chart? There's nothing from Uranus in the middle of Aries to Jupiter in the middle of Virgo. That's 150 degrees of the zodiac, which is empty unless the moon passes through there once a month. And what are with those areas, okay, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, they're just like empty, okay, for months now. I think it's from what, October to March. October to March, there's nothing, in that whole area of the zodiac, and that's the most personal planet. That's the personal signs. This is, my inner world, myself, my subjective being. And the others, above the horizon, Libra to Pisces, this is all the last 7 houses, 7 through 12, is about transpersonal or cosmic or collective experience. And so we're talking about now particularly Scorpio and Pisces I want to talk about today. They're water signs, and they're both above that horizon. Scorpio is forces beyond my control that, take away or that have a big, strong impact on me, and my merging with them or confronting them or fighting them or whatever causes deep, powerful transformation. It's the house of death, endings, releasing, letting go. So I have my shirt on here of the skull, yes? And it's the skull that is opening and breaking open. I got my little earring on here, it's the skull. I'm all skulls today. Death, removal, endings. The sun is moving through Aquarius. I've talked about Aquarius. Yes, is outer space. It is non-attachment. It's the future. It's moving forward, going beyond. New hopes, new wishes, new desires of the future. And that it also involves, it's square to Scorpio, letting go of attachments to the present and the past. And Pisces. Pisces rising people, Pisces coming from Pisces, they know, you know what it is. 12th house people, let go, let go, let go. End, finish, it's going down the river, it's going down the drain, it's going down the toilet. It's just like the more you can bring things to closure, release them and let them go, the less pain and suffering you are going to have in your life. So it is just learning that what? Everything is temporary. And and today's mantra has to do with this death, removal, letting go. And it's a painful experience. I mean, a lot of us can be going through a painful experience. I've talked about this year, 2016, as the year of purification. And again, purification has to do with letting go of impurities, letting go of illusions, letting go of childhood conditioning and patterning. And life is so much about letting go. And it's not easy. We are human beings. We emotionally attach. We physically attach. We mentally attach to bodies, sexually, to to relationships, emotionally, to beliefs, mentally. We have all of these attachments. So Mars moving through Scorpio, okay, is cutting away, cutting the cords. Yes, in one way liberating us and freeing us, but in another way, okay, it can be Robin Hood saying, you know what, give me all your money. Okay? It can be, confrontation, yes, with other people. We've got Black Moon Lilith, okay, moving through Libra. She moves into Scorpio, yeah? She moves into Scorpio May 21st, and she's going to stay there until February of 17. And she has to do with shadow. And I've talked about shadow a little bit. I'm going to talk about shadow some more, because Scorpio has to do with shadow. And this is what? This peeling away, this opening up of that which is false. And also that which is elusive, illusions. So we can say in so many ways, yeah? And I've said this so many times, and I was really contemplating it today, that in astrology, there's no such thing as death. There is only the transformation from one state of existence to another. Now, that's easy to say, and it's true on one level, that if something dies in this realm, it moves into another dimension or into an astral plane or some spiritual condition called the other side, yes? But on the other hand, there is death. There is endings. Yes, when someone's physical body is gone, their physical body is gone. Yes? So it's the paradox. There is death and there is no death. But they both coexist together. But this changing of form, behind the form, let's just look at it. Let's look at marriage. Could be considered the death of being single. Yes? A divorce is the death of a marriage. Getting fired is the death of your job. Yes? Growing old is the death of youth. And the ego, yes, this ego part of ourselves wants to control ourselves, our lives, our situations, our conditions. It wants to survive. It wants to succeed. It wants to expand. It wants more power and more control. And this is about Scorpio, mastery and power. And when you want more power and you want more control, you're going to bump into whatever is limiting your power and limiting your control. Yes? In a relationship, the other person is going to limit your power. So, death is the ultimate going to limit our power. We come in with nothing and we go out with nothing. And this process of letting go, this process of removal, what I want to look at and understand is, how to deal with it and what it's about. And, today's mantra has to do with getting a message, getting a signal, understanding something, hearing something, learning something, growing something. Scorpio and Pluto is the force of evolution. So the force of Kundalini and the force of evolution is intrinsically tied with this removal and death force of that which is limiting or that which is blocking the growth, expansion, and evolution of our consciousness. And so let's look at this situation. I'm going to use Black Moon Lilith moving through relationship and partnership now. And I'm going to just kind of, make a statement. You can evaluate it for yourself, but we could say, perhaps, that all of life and why we are born and why we live is to learn what love is and to learn how to love. When we are in a relationship, we get into relationships for different reasons, for different needs, emotional, some are conscious, some are unconscious. And it's the unconscious ones that come into these relationships and want to be seen. They are the shadow. They are, the saboteur. Because we can say, there's lots of reasons to get into relationship. There's lots of reasons to attach, let's say to a pet, or to a job, or to a house, or to a person. Some of these reasons or these needs are emotional and unconscious needs for security. One of them, a big one of them, can be a sense of belonging. Many of them can be to escape loneliness, to escape emptiness, to not feel separate or isolated or insignificant. It's the need to be loved and recognized and adored and applauded and valued. We can get into relationship because we need attention. And we need somebody to tell us we're beautiful, or tell us that we're good, or tell us that we're smart, or tell us that we can get into relationship, because we want to survive. Yes, this money situation, it's just like, yes, people, can get into relationships for money. We can look for someone to look as an upgrade, a flower on the lapel. I want the best looking gal or the best looking guy, and then when people see us, they're going to think, more of me. So it can be this ego need for aggrandizement. Yes? There can be this need for sexual fulfillment. That, I just, I'm tired of taking care of myself. I would like, to be pleased and pleasured in a hedonistic physical sense. I want to be touched. Yes, and I want to, have, this orgasm, which is, the most pleasurable physical experience, that we can have in a body. So there's, there are so many reasons and causes. And then we run into somebody and we say, I love you. But, behind this word of I love you, okay, is I'm also looking for this, and I'm looking for that, and I'm afraid of that, and I'm wanting more of that, and I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's all this other baggage that comes with this word, love. And we can say that life, yes, when we come, and I'm talking about this year of purification. Well, this year of purification has Mars moving through Scorpio for most of it. It's not just Virgo, Pisces, and Jupiter and Node in, in Virgo, okay? And Black Moon Lilith squaring Pluto, for a great big portion of it. Yeah? I mean, this purification, like I say, it has a lot to do with what? Releasing illusions. This is Pisces, and this is Chiron and Neptune in Pisces. The south node of the moon in Pisces is letting go of illusions. And these illusions is what? Self-deception. I say that I love you, but you know what? Really, I'm needing this, wanting da. Yeah? And then what? A relationship goes, or a person rejects us, or a job goes away, or the animal dies. Yes? Or there's an earthquake and the house is destroyed. I love that house. Yes? I loved my pet. I loved my garden, and the hurricane came. Things are removed out of our life experience. And we then go into grief, which is a natural human process with this, whenever there's a loss. And grief is reflection. It has to do with Saturn. It has to do with this Pluto in Capricorn. And this grief and this reflection bring us into what was really existing in that relationship with a person, place, or thing. What was really behind, what was really underneath. Very often, like I said, things are removed from our experience when they are too much of a distraction, or we have lost ourselves, or we are just preoccupied with, and we're not looking at ourselves, or we're not growing, or we're not evolving. And ultimately, I would say that this death and removal and this letting go of everything, and particularly now, one thing you can be letting go of is your health. This is Virgo. And just think of growing old. As we grow old and we let go of our youth, well, we let go of our muscles and our strength and our physical prowess, and you get wrinkles and you lose your attractive, what some people call the attractive features and face or whatever. And the older that we get, and this is why old age is actually like things get more and more intense and stronger and stronger. That's what leads to wisdom. Is the old people have let go of more than the young people. Because life is a process of letting go. And the more you let go, the more you reflect, and the more you see what? The mystery behind the form. That love goes deeper, and that we are temporal beings on this planet. Our egos are temporary. And relationships to everything and anything, it's all temporary. But part of this evolutionary process is getting in touch with what is eternal. Now we have Saturn moving through Sagittarius. What is eternal? What is beyond form? What is behind? What is the intelligence or the love or the spirit or the mystery behind this comings and goings and goings and comings that happen while we are in a physical body? And so it is that we could say, I like to think that Spirit is talking to us, is leading us, is guiding us into expanded understanding, expanded realms of knowledge, of wisdom, of truth, about itself, about great mystery. Spirit is constantly revealing itself to us through the comings and goings of this physical world. So let's look at the mantra for today. Yeah? Sometimes life will take away what I hold so dear. It's humbling and scary, but can be necessary in order for me to hear. sometimes we get pretty full of ourselves. It's like, hey, you know, I got it all going on. I got the job, I got the house, I got the car, I got the relationship, I got the... We get full of ourselves, you know, and you know, we think we got it all together, you know. And maybe we don't hear, or we don't listen, or, you know, spirits talking to us, tapping to us, hey, 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 time to, you know, time to listen. You know, time to go deeper into who you are and what your spirit and what spirit is and what life means and blah, 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 blah. Spirit's always, you know, tapping at our door like the raven. But we go, nah, you know, it's another drink, another smoke, another orgasm, you know, and, you know, let's go shopping. You know, I'm busy. Another email, another Facebook message, another selfie. You know, I'm busy. Until what? It's gone. You know, your computer breaks down. Your phone, you know, you drop your phone in the bathtub. Whatever, you know. Stuff goes away. And it's when stuff goes away, we're humbled. Ooh. You know, we get sick. We get hospitalized, or we get in a so-called accident. Yeah, our health is taken away. Well, you know, it's humbling. We get shrunk. Life is constantly humbling us. Life is constantly shrinking us. Life is constantly bringing us, yes, into this place of guess what? Yes, there's more. Yes, and your ego is not the ultimate source of creation. And you need to go into the mystery, and you need to learn, and you need to listen, and you need to hear. You need to get down on your knees once in a while. Yeah? So it's humbling and it's scary. But sometimes it's an adjustment of what we need. Life gives us what we need, and sometimes we need to be humbled in order to listen to some awakening. And this is the sun moving through Aquarius, why I'm talking about this today. We talk about liberation and enlightenment and awakening, and oh yeah. It's not always fun. The truth can hurt. The fact is that you've been selfish. The fact is that you've been greedy. You know, the fact is that you don't know what love is. The fact is that, you know, it's been all about, you know, your unconscious need for pleasure. Okay, it's been about your unconscious da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's like life is bringing up this stuff, and it's sludge. You know, it's for us to look at. And it's only when, you know, maybe the flower goes down the drain, yeah? Or it's like when something gets flushed out of our lives that we see, oh my goodness, we see behind the scenes, behind the play, behind the drama, to the theme or the message of the play, the theme or the message of the drama. There's always something more. That's what Scorpio and Pisces and all the water signs, yes, are always telling us. Everything is more than it seems, more than it appears. Sometimes life will take away what I hold so dear. It's humbling and scary, but can be necessary in order that I may hear. May we all listen attentively, thereby reducing the necessary amounts of loss in our lives. And we have a less painful evolutionary experience on planet Earth. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.